right, this is an interview at the Warrensburg residence, Warrensburg, New York. It is the 21st of November, 2005, approximately 8:30 a.m. Interviewers are Wayne Clark and Mike Russert. Could you give me your full name, your date of birth, and place of birth, please?
Charles Rice, born in Tekamah, Nebraska, October 31st, 1918.
What was your school background prior to entering service?
Glens High School.
Okay, so you moved to this area. When did you move to this area?
Oh, my family's been here as long as I've known her. I know I went through all the grades right in Glens Falls.
Okay, so you must have moved shortly after you were born?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't remember any place else.
Now, you went into the Navy in 1936. You enlisted
right.
then.
Yeah.
Why did you select the Navy?
Because they had a music school. They just opened a new school of music in the Navy Yard in Washington. And, of course, I've been connected with music since I was 4 years old. And
What instruments did you play?
well, I started out on a violin, and I had one of those half-size violins, and then after I got up, well, I forget just where I was, but I know I was up quite a while, and just before I went into the Navy, and I changed over to saxophone and clarinet. And I stuck with that ever since, till I come here, and I haven't touched it since I got here in this place.
So you joined the Navy to be in the Navy band?
I was in the Navy band. I went to the school,
Oh,
Navy
okay.
school.
Now, where was that?
In Washington, in the Navy Yard. I don't know if I was any better than any of the rest of them, but I was asked to sit in the Navy band, which was also in the Navy Yard in Washington. When there was somebody was out sick or on vacation or something, I'd go in and play.
Did you have any other Navy basic training outside of the band?
No.
Okay, so strictly in the band.
They're just mainly, yeah. I didn't have the regular training that they give for a regular seaman. Didn't get that.
Now, you mentioned on the form you filled out in the summer of 1937 while you were in Washington, something special happened. What was that? When you were sitting on the steps of the Capitol with some friends?
Oh, yeah, there was some friends from here, I guess they were, and we were on out in front of the Capitol. I forget who it was that come along now.
You said it was the president.
Oh, yeah. And he surprised me. They said, well, here comes the president. So I sat there and watched him come down through, and he stopped to talk to us. And it was one of those moments that kind of throws you, you know.
Now, this was President Roosevelt.
I guess it was, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That must have been quite a thrill for you as a...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I never forgot that.
Okay. Now, did you travel around the country with the Navy band, or...?
No. They had a school of music in the Navy Yard in Washington. And the only time I played with the Navy band, as I said, when somebody was out that played clarinet or sax, when they were out sick, I would sit in for them while they were out. But I never was really in the band.
Okay. What were some of your duties, or other duties, while you were there?
We didn't have much of anything other than just our music.
So you had to practice and
we
so
had
on?
practice Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you had your regular rehearsals every day, every morning and every afternoon, 5 days a week. And over the weekend, I always would get out the horn for a few minutes and practice. But it wasn't a really exciting job, but it was important.
Mm-hmm. Now you said these three friends you were with, Bill Ansel and Jake Flick and Herb
For Mumpower, yeah.
Mumpower, all of you were in the Navy together for the whole 10 years?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Were you all in the band?
In the same band, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, were all of you assigned to the USS Detroit?
The Detroit, and we were on the Idaho for a while.
Mm-hmm. So, were you on the bands on those ships?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What did you do while you were at sea when you were on these ships? Did you do any other duties?
We had no. We were strictly musicians.
Mm-hmm.
We had a rehearsal every morning, and sometimes in the afternoon, if we had some new music come in, we'd have 2 rehearsals a day. And but that's all we did.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said on the Detroit were on an anti-aircraft battery too. Was that an assignment that you had too?
No, that wasn't on the Detroit.
Oh, where was that?
That was on the what was it? We were on the Saratoga. That was an aircraft carrier.
Mm-hmm. So you were in the Saratoga also?
Yeah, we were on the Saratoga. Not for a long time, but we did get a period there.
All right. Now, how did you get to Pearl Harbor? I know you said you were at Pearl Harbor.
The band, we went out on a ammunition supply ship, and we went down through the Panama Canal and across that way to go out through. And they took us out to the Pearl Harbor, and we went from, of course, that ship. I forget what it was. USS Nitro, I think it was. And they took us right to the Detroit, and we were on the Detroit for I don't know how many years. And
now you were there on December 7th. Could you tell us about that day and what happened?
oh, that was
From the time you got up in the morning?
well, first thing in the morning, I had met a fellow from the USS, what was the battleship? Wyoming?
Arizona, you said here. Okay.
Arizona, yeah, right. I had met him, and I was standing on our ship, the Detroit, waiting for a motor launch to take me to the pier, and then the Arizona motor launch would come and pick us up and take us out to the ship, which was just across from the pier. And
Now you were going out there for church services?
we were going there for church service because we didn't have one on our ship. And never got there. That was while I was standing there waiting, there was one plane went over, and I could see a little red dot on the side. Of course, it was high enough that it didn't look very big, and it really didn't impressed me much. I mean, didn't think too much of it. But it wasn't too many minutes afterward that there was a whole squadron go over. And the first bomb that I knew of landed not too many feet from the side of our ship. And I got splattered.
Mm-hmm.
So the bomb didn't go off, it just hit the water?
It just hit the water. It didn't explode. It just splashed us.
What were your thoughts when you saw the Japanese aircraft attacking? Did you know they were Japanese right away?
Yeah, I saw it and know they were this whole squadron come over. I don't know if you know Pearl Harbor. There's Ford Island in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and the Arizona was on this side, and we were right opposite, across the Ford Island.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we were. And of course, they when they come over, they hit Battleship Row, and there was, I don't know, something like 5 battleships lined up there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they aimed for. And it seems that there was several of them in the day before, and was all around Ford Island and other places on Pearl Harbor, on the Hawaiian Islands. Checked out the Army bases and Marine headquarters and all that. So, I mean, we of course, we didn't think anything about that, having that kind of a problem come up.
What were your feelings when you saw this happening?
Oh, Jesus, I don't know. Just everything just flew out except getting to my position on my gun. I was a pointer on any aircraft.
Now, what does a pointer do?
It elevates and depresses the gun, the mount.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a trainer on the other side that cranes the gun back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pointer. And was not the rag, but I was credited with bringing down the first plane of the day of the Japanese. And that's always stuck by me. Well,
Now, this was, you went onto the deck of the Detroit and did this.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Could you describe what was happening around you?
Well, I really didn't know what was going on, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whenever we'd see a plane, that we should do something about it, and I was at the gun, and I was right on the gun most of the time.
Did your ship suffer any battle damage? Was it
No,
hit?
no, we didn't have anything. No,
But you could see the Arizona taking the hits. And
the Arizona, they had some, I didn't get over to see too much of this, but they did get a small damage to it from something on a bomb was dropped or whatever, and I never saw it afterward to see what damage was done.
Mhm.
And it was,
So you stayed with your gun the entire attack?
yeah, I was right on my anti-aircraft gun.
Mm-hmm.
It was a small gun. It was a 3-inch anti-aircraft gun. Yeah, it's right on that one spot.
Once the attack was over, then what happened?
Jesus, I don't know. I don't remember anything, but I guess when everything was all over and there was none of them around, we probably just went on with the regular day routine. I don't know.
You don't remember, like,
I
maybe...
don't remember
Okay.
especially, no.
Okay.
Now, after Pearl Harbor, did you stay on the Detroit for most of the rest of the war?
No. I went to the Idaho,
Oh, yes, right.
and I don't remember how long I was on there. It wasn't too long. I stayed in until 47, January of 47.
Now, were you at sea most of that time?
Yeah. Except the last couple of months was back in Washington, D.C.
Were you involved in any of the invasions out in the Pacific and the islands?
No. There was, the bigger ships had launches that they put men in and took them to these places. We didn't have that. We couldn't carry enough men, or we paid it.
Yeah.
Have us.
Was your ships or the ships you were on involved in firing at any of the
Yes.
islands?
Yeah. The Idaho was. The Detroit did fire, but we didn't get into it like the Idaho did. The other thing that we had was we accompanied some civilian transports to Australia. We didn't go into Australia. We anchored out and just saw that they got into the port. And I don't know, I don't remember much about that, except that there was, I don't know, 3 Navy ships, I think it was, that went on that to Australia. But we didn't go into Australia. We just turned around and come back. And there was a civilian ship with passengers, and it was loaded, leaving Australia, that we come back with and escorted back to Pearl Harbor. But that's about all we did out there, is little things like that. We didn't get into any more activity.
Oh, so you did a lot of escort duty.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Yeah. And we just happened that we didn't run into any problems escorting. We didn't run into any with the enemy at all.
Okay. Did you, when did you came back to the States then toward the end of 1947?
Well, I was discharged in January of 47
Okay.
from Washington.
So back toward the end of 1946.
Yeah.
Did you play in the band anywhere?
Yeah.
Did you play for USO shows at all?
I don't remember playing for any of the USO.
After you were discharged, did you use the GI Bill for anything?
No, I didn't. I just got my discharge and left everything behind.
How about those 3 friends of yours? Did you ever stay in contact with them?
I did for a while, and Mumpower is the only one I continued to be in contact with. And he went to Florida. I went down one time to see him, and then I think he must have passed away, because all of a sudden I didn't hear anything from him. And I haven't found anyone else that knew what happened to him. And,
Did you join any veterans organizations?
no, I got rid of it. I just didn't want any connection with it.
Okay. All right. How do you think your time? Do you think your time in the service had any effect on changing your life?
I suppose it did. I don't know. I can't really pin anything down that was changed that much, but
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for your interview.
okay. Ready? That's all, huh?
Yes, sir.